Good evening. It's another Monday. You don't have to be perfect. We got a special guest for y'all tonight.
You don't gotta be perfect, you just gotta get started. Don't overthink it. Just go where your heart is, turn your dreams and your goals. Let your goals shape how you live. Success is inevitable if you're willing to give up your old self to become someone new, to be the true you. Never be afraid to do you in front of the critics, sideline judges, non-believers, people holding their grudges. Appreciate the hate. It comes with the winning. When your wife's big enough money, you're unstoppable from the beginning. Your excuses are useless. Let your actions be part of the solution and watch the income it produces. Recognize greatness, a supreme revelation. Years of blood, sweat, and tears to become an overnight sensation. Can't do it alone. I should have said this first. Teamwork always makes the dream work.
Yes, yes, yes. We have another episode of You Don't Have to Be Perfect. And we are so glad to bring you our guest today. And we know you don't have to be perfect. That's why we don't even start on time.
Right.
Right? You don't have
Right.
to be perfect. You just have to get started. Right? A
Just
lot
gotta
of
get
times
started.
we stop ourselves, right? Before the dream even starts because we allow our frustrations to overpower us. But we have someone really special for you today. We have April. I want to get it all right. April Isaac Brown. We're going to get it all right. I want to miss no name. You know,
That's
she
right.
is uh, an amazing author. She is a boutique owner. She is a relative to one of our former guests, Miss Amelia Moore, and she has an amazing story. So, April, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
Oh
having
man.
me. I love the intro.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh man, that was. Don't tell nobody. Somebody said I could rap a little bit, so I let my DJ put me in the booth for a moment. So yeah, but
I like how it
that's.
came out. You did your thing.
Oh man, thank you, sis. But we are so glad to have you here because you have an amazing story of overcoming and perseverance. You
Hmm.
know, um, when I heard your story, the first time, I thought about how easy it could have been for you to give up,
Yeah.
but I've seen, not only you be a fierce business owner, but an author, mother, wife, so let's before I get them all hyped up, let's tell them a little bit about yourself and why I think your story is so unique.
Okay. Well, well, I could say living in New York. I had my kids at a early age. In my teens, and my thing back then was just to work to provide. Um, and really couldn't get in tune with my passion. I just wanted to make sure that my kids were good. Um, so I grew up as a teen mom. My kids grew up with, basically grew up with me. And then as moving down here to Pennsylvania, I lost my son in 2018. Um, and like you said, you can lose someone and it's easy to get lost. So I had to fight through some challenges and learn how to navigate through some deep emotions where there was days where I felt like if it wasn't for my other children and it was just him, I wouldn't have made it. You know what I'm saying? That heartbreak is different. Um, but as going to therapy and just seeking help that I need, um, I kind of learned how to channel my energy and learn how to deal with my emotions in a better way, to keep me going and to keep me strong. And after a few years, I decided, you know what? Let me talk about my pain. Let me put it out there because it is serious, and a lot of people don't have the support. I'm going to say it again. A lot of people don't have the support of family and of good people that they could turn to keep them going. You know what I'm saying? There's people who are out in this world with no one. And I had some good support, and it helped me. It helped me a lot. But I channeled that energy. I wrote the book in the hopes of helping other mothers, parents, grandparents. The book could be for anybody. And not only for people who lost somebody, but grief in general. Grief comes in many forms. Um, but yeah, and after after that, um, I started saying, you know what, let me work on me. Just keep this momentum going because it's so easy to just sit home and your mind start working on you. You know what I'm saying? And you have to keep going and start putting things that you have passion for into play. Cause it's easy to get lost out here in this world, you know? So I decided to just keep moving, keep working, and keep doing my thing.
And I love it because I want to backtrack because you said some things that are key, especially
That
in the black community. You know,
mhm,
we don't seek therapy often enough,
correct.
right?
Mhm.
You know, a lot of us suffer in silence, right?
Mhm.
And that silence becomes violence, right?
Yep.
I know I was a violent individual because of some of the pain I went through as a young man and didn't know how to express that, right? So, you know, finding a great outlet for me was good. But therapy. So I wanted to stop it there because you said you sought therapy and got therapy. What
Mhm.
made you think that therapy can be an answer for you? And then how did therapy help you?
Well, answer for me. I was becoming. I didn't know how to actually deal with the different emotions. They would come in so many forms, and I felt myself being in a dark, ugly place, and I was becoming so angry with the people around me that were trying to help me. On anything that they could help me with. Just being present. I would just be angry. And I knew that if I didn't get the help that I need, I don't know what direction I was gonna go into, but I didn't like the feeling. That feeling wasn't good for me because as a person, that's not who I want to project myself as. You know what I'm saying? I was very, very angry, and I didn't know how to deal with that. I just picked up the phone one day in my car. I just had a breakdown, and I pulled up to my house, and I was breaking down, and I just said, "Let me look for a therapist now." um, I feel like with therapy, um, they can help you. It's not that you don't have the support from family, but they know how to deal with certain emotions. You know what I'm saying? Um, she was just bringing things out of me, like things that I couldn't understand or why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And then as she was helping me, navigate through them, I was able to work on it one by one. Um, but I advocate for therapy. I tell people don't believe in it right away. They like, oh, I don't need therapy. What I need therapy for? But therapy is not only, for something specific. Therapy helps you. It could be like a childhood trauma. It could be anything that you've been through. You know what I'm saying? Not only for grieving or certain things, but like you said, you dealt with some things, that you had to go through. You became you became whatever you two said, violent or whatever
Yeah,
it was. I don't want to say
angry
the
and
wrong
violent.
word. Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong word, but
No, it's okay. This is you don't have to be perfect. Speak your heart,
right.
Queen.
Speak your heart. Yeah, but oh man, I don't know. It was just a crazy. It was a crazy feeling, pause. I ain't gonna lie to you. It
But
was
I'm grateful, right? That not only that you got therapy, but you're
uh,
willing to speak about it, right? And it's people don't realize like that entrepreneurs, business owners, we're still human, right? We're still regular people, right? Even though we may be cutting checks to
mhm,
help pay for other people's lives and lifestyles, we still
right,
go through our own ups and downs,
right,
so for you to to stand in the gap, and I want you to tell people the name of that book, right? Because there's someone right now that can use that needs that book, for therapy, right? They
mhm,
need that book to hear, someone else's test and their
mhm,
testimony, right? Because
mhm.
that testimony can bring someone forward because you've not only faced the pain, you've owned it so that you can move forward.
Right. So the name of the book is An Unexplained Loss of a Child. You can find it on Barnes and Nobles or um, in oh God, Amazon. And then of course I have some in the boutique location at Ambitious Boutique for sale. And I carry them around all the time. So if you need one and you close by, I can bring it to you.
That's what I'll talk about. See. That's how you can tell she's a true author. All right, I can't even say I'm a true author. I don't carry my books around. Like I'll carry the next book. Curing Racism is coming soon. That's the third book that we're putting out. But but I love that you carry your book around, right? Because that's your business card. That's your walking testimony. So I
Right.
I love that not only do you carry it around, that you've written such a powerful story, right? An unexpected loss of a child, you
An
know,
unexplained loss of a child.
unexplained loss of a child. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Thank you for correcting me. Please go get a copy of an unexplained loss of a child, because, someone right now can benefit from that story, and you've come to the other side and now you're doing some amazing work in fashion. I seen some, not only are you behind the camera, I've seen you stepped in front of the camera recently. So like you are a fashion powerhouse, You know, I even on the flyer,
I'm
ladies
trying to
and
do my
gentlemen,
thing.
I didn't get someone else's. I went on her Facebook and I stole one of these little glamour shots that she's been putting up. You know what I mean? Because sis is outside really putting it on. So tell them about your fashion journey. Like how did Ambitious Boutique start? Where can they? And what is that about?
I ain't even gonna lie. A couple years ago, that was not in my thought. I mean, I always said we gonna do it, and you know how that goes. You work it, certain things at a certain time. Then I keep saying to my husband, like, I ain't got nothing out here for me to shop for. If I need something real quick for an event, there's nothing in Allentown for me. No clothes, no nothing, no stores for women. So, one day he said, you know what? Maybe you keep saying that. Maybe you need to do what you always wanted to do and open that store. I'm like, my mental, I don't know, my mental was, you know what? Talking about, he kept, mentioning it. I was like, you know what? Maybe it is my time. Maybe I step out the box. Maybe I just gotta trust the process. I keep saying it's not the time, but probably it is. You know what I'm saying? I can't stop this journey from happening. So um, here it is a year later, and Ambitious Boutique is still pushing through. Still pushing through.
And I
So
love it because I want to stop for my entrepreneurs that didn't get it. Like she said, how at that moment she didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
she felt it, right? She saw what she said. She saw a need that needed to be filled, but she wasn't exactly sure if she wanted to fill that need, and
Mm-hmm.
then had the support of a loving husband, you know, and we always talk about a supportive spouse, in doing anything, right? Supportive partner doesn't have to be a spouse partner, because we can't do things alone. In the Bible it says when two minds come together, God will be there. So having those two minds, two hearts on the same plane. So Ambitious has had its 1 year anniversary, right?
Correct.
And
Mm-hmm.
it seems to be going bigger, better, faster, since that year anniversary's taken off. You know,
Right.
where
So
do you see? Oh, go ahead.
so with that, I feel like um in the beginning, I felt a little it's intimidated. It was kind of scary because it was like, okay, this ain't happening as fast, because your mind likes to play them jokes on you, like, all right, this ain't happening. It's slow. I got to get this out there. I got to keep doing this. I got to keep doing that. And, but like, as I keep doing work on my own, it's like, oh, she's doing her thing or whatever. But the work is not easy. You have to really, really get out there and put yourself out there so people could know what you're doing. See, people could know about your business, who you are, because if you don't and you just sit still, you know how they say closed mouths don't get fed. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's a hustle. It's a hustle.
I love it. So for our people out there, she said some real talk for you, right? As a new business owner, someone that's been outside for a year, she said she had to realize early, right, that sitting inside the store ain't gonna pay the bills. And I think a lot of store owners miss that, right, because they don't go outside and promote, market, network, and then wonder why no one's walking in your store. So how important do you think networking has been, for the growth of your boutique? I don't want to get it wrong. I want to say boutique, your boutique, and really getting your name out there. How do you think networking has impacted for you?
Networking is, I could say, number one on the list. If you want to get your business out there, whatever it is that you do, I don't care what it is. If you're in the food industry business, clothing, web pages, whatever you do, whatever your business is, get out there and network is very, very important. And not only for your business, but you get to meet some real great, you meet great people who could tap in and share some jewels with you, because that's another thing. I do a lot of researching on my own. And when I do network, I don't hesitate. If I could find any little piece of information out, I'm going to do that because it's going to help. It's going to help you. Um, so don't be scared to get out there. You got to get out there. You got, get your foot on the ground and run. You
I
got to do it
love it.
all.
I
Mm-hmm.
love it. My big brother, Greg Reed, he just had his big conference, Secret Knock. Shout out to Secret Knock. One of the things he said to me early, right, was that your network is your net worth.
Yep.
So, are the people in your circle, are they pulling you, up, or are they pulling you down? Are the
Woo, that's a
people,
good one.
you know what I mean? Are the
Yep.
people in your circle, are they allowing you to see more, or does your square become a cage? Right? Because we always say we got all circles, no squares. Right? Does
Uh-huh.
those squares become cages? Because people get trapped in their past, you know, people get trapped in different situations, based on how somebody may have viewed them. Because you said you were a young mother, right? There's someone right now who may be judging, April, who had a baby in her teens, instead of seeing the powerful April who's written a book and who's running her boutique, how do you balance, right? How people
Mhm.
see how you used to be versus how you are right now.
I ain't before. I used to allow things to hurt my feelings, make me emotional, think twice, like, damn, can I do this? Can I make it to other people's things? Can I do? I used to, do too much. And even once again, you know, my husband, he in the beginning always used to tell me, you can't be there for everybody. You can't show up for everybody. You could do what you could do. You know what I'm saying? You can't drive yourself crazy with that. But I learned through from me moving up here, and the things that I've been doing, you can tell who um the ones that show up and showing out for you. I used to hurt my feelings if somebody didn't show up because I'm the type of person that will show up all the time for everybody. So now I'm okay with saying no, I can't make it. I'm okay with putting me first. I'm okay with using the word selfish. Selfish people take selfish as a word, um, oh, you're being selfish. It's all about you. It's okay. It's okay. It's my time. I have work to do. I'm not out here partying. I'm not out here, just chilling and stuff. I'm grinding. And if you can't understand that, then you got to go. You one of them people that still shouldn't be in my circle. So I'm okay with all those changes now. I'm okay with losing people. I'm okay if we don't talk no more. I need to go to bed in peace now. I'm not trying to have things lingering over my heart, my feelings, feeling heavy. That's just not necessary.
I love it. I love it. So we're gonna stop. We're gonna break some things down for people. What I mean, one of the things that's so important. She said she talked about personal development, right? Because there's growth that had to happen, right? Because to let go of some people, sometimes we have to grow in ourselves. One of the things I always say is we let people come in love and go in love, right? That way,
Right.
the only thing that's always is love. I don't feel bad when you're gone. Success is a journey, right?
Hmm.
So I can't get mad when you get off on your stop. It's like riding a train in New York City. Like if I start off in the Bronx and we all going to Brooklyn, but you know me, I'm not going to Brooklyn. I'm getting off in Harlem. So I'm not gonna keep going with y'all. You know what I mean? Like that's my stop. You gotta know some people gonna stop where they are. Is
Right.
that doesn't mean that you don't get to keep going. So I love that you said that and then talked about how it used to bother you, because somebody right now is feeling how you felt. They're starting their business and they're going, but you know, but I was there for Susie. And they telling all their stories. They laying in the bed with their spouse, or it could be, the man telling his wife, John never they complaining about something that don't matter, right?
Hmm.
Those people
Absolutely.
don't matter. Most of the people that are most of the people that are gonna support you don't know your name, right?
Right.
The people most of the people that are gonna support you don't know your name yet. So
Hmm.
build your name so big that they can't forget you,
Right.
you know? Because the people that are close to you, most of them want to support you. But
Hmm.
they think by not supporting you, they're helping you, which is sort of crazy, right? Because they don't want your dreams to blow up and then you fall down. So they
Right.
think they're protecting you. So the people that really are gonna find you, you haven't even met yet. So I love that you're dropping so many jewels for people, because there are people right now that think that I had to be perfect, to start my
Yeah.
business. Uh, I there's someone right now who lost a child, who don't think I could start a business. And you said, not only did I lose my child, I lost myself for a minute. I came
Hmm.
back. You know what I mean? I'm stronger than ever. And that's so powerful, right? you're telling, that sense of hope. And then you're not just, but you're not just running a boutique, you're doing some modeling now, right? How'd you,
Mhm.
you're stepping totally out of your comfort zone. And I love it. So, what made you start stepping into such boldness? Right, because we want these women. It's the end of Women's History Month. We making history today. We want some women inspired, right? What made you,
Yeah.
step into your boldness and step from behind the camera to in front of the camera?
Well, you definitely right about that. I'm definitely stepping out the box. I mean, these are things that I always had a. And back in the days when you think about modeling and stuff, model, um, they look. You felt as a woman if you didn't look a particular way, you couldn't do it. So moving forward, like especially in these times, everybody's outside modeling. You got full figure woman modeling. You got so many different types of models now. Um, but it's amazing. I am stepping out the box. Like I said, I've been outside networking, meeting new people, and they just been throwing so much at me. Like I've just been blessed, to meet the new people and just say, hey, this is your time. Come outside and do this. Get on the stage. Not only put your clothes out there, but you do it. You doing it. You doing it, and you doing it gracefully. So do it. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be ready.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Right, because
So,
there are women, that are over 20. Right, I'm not going to
mhm,
give you an age. Right, there are women over 20. Right,
mhm,
that is saying, "Can I be a model for the first time now?" And you're saying, not
mhm,
only do I own a boutique, I design
mhm.
clothes, but I'm stepping on stage. So like I am woman, hear me roar, right? Like, so
Yes,
there is,
yes. It's
you
never too
know,
late. It's never too late. Um,
yeah,
I'm not a young buck, you know what I'm saying? But I try to take care of myself the best I can. Health conscious. I follow up on myself. Um, it's not too late to pour some of your passion out now. You know what I'm saying? It's oh man, it's amazing. Like we have time. Like don't let this time. Life is so short. Just get out there and get whatever it is that your heart feels you want to do. Just go do it. Do it.
yes.
I don't care who's
It's
talking
never
about me
too
now,
late.
Paz.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, because it's not. It's you know we forget all the time because wherever we are, we allow other people, right? It's the others that create the doubt. But once we decide to fall in love with the journey, right?
Hmm.
Nothing can stop us. Nothing can
Yeah.
stop us. And we never know how the journey is gonna go because I know you didn't envision yourself stepping in front of the camera, as soon as you have. And I know my brother Pi is loving how wifey look in the pictures. I'm like, go Pi, let's go.
That's my Pocahontas.
He said that's his Pocahontas.
Him. There you go, Brick Bro. Because I love love, right? And you can see in his eyes how he loves his wife,
He definitely
right?
does. Hmm.
And that's a great thing, right?
Yeah.
There's a special um sense of success that comes in true love, right?
Right.
Because the ups and downs of the boutique, the ups and downs of life, doesn't stop you guys from pushing each other forward.
Right. And it's not easy. We both, as you know us, you'll know the hustle. He travels a lot to New York. Even for us, our timings ain't always perfect, so we struggle to have some time for ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So there's gonna be things that you have to sacrifice, but it's all about understanding each other, and knowing that when we outside doing work, we not just chilling. Um, but we go through a lot, you know what I'm saying? And people look as if we just outside living our best life, but we not. We just, you just looking for out from in front of the camera, or you looking on Instagram or Facebook, and people's, they it's quick. They're quick to say, "Oh, you living your best life," but they don't understand the grind and the hustle
Yeah.
behind it. You know. So
Yes. And,
I am
and,
blessed.
and
I am blessed to have a husband who's supportive, um, and is there for me. Through any situation, because it does help. It helps to have a supportive partner.
yes. And you are living your best life. It comes with hustle, it comes with grind, and you deserve it. Right?
Right.
What people don't understand, right? To live that best life, there's times where you up when nobody paying attention, you studying when nobody looking, right? You robbing Peter to pay Paul,
Right.
all of those things, in order to make it where it has
Right.
to be. But once it's there, yeah, I deserve to smile in every picture, right? I
Mm-hmm.
deserve to enjoy that moment,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I've worked for that moment. So
Right.
so whenever someone says you're living your best life, Queen, you tell them thank you. Right? Don't let them steal from it. Right? I'm living
Gotcha.
my best life, and I worked hard for it.
Uh,
You know, I was
Gotcha.
outside today. You know,
mhm.
um, selling Ula Laid for the young man. And they're like, "You selling lemonade?" Like they was trying to play me out. I was like, "Yeah, tell me." Like what?
Yo,
You
well, if
know
they
what I
don't
mean?
know, they better find out, because that lemonade is good. So ooh la la to you.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm outside. The young man had other work to do. I'm like, I'm outside in all kinds of brands. I got on my daughter's hat and her shirt. I got, man, we selling everything's for sale. I'll sell you everything on me.
Right.
you know, you
My
know,
husband's laughing at you.
And I ain't laughing
you
at
Not
know.
you.
laughing at you, but
Yeah,
it's the truth.
he
You
laughing
hustling.
with me. That's my bro. I
That's
get it.
that's
You
nice. I
know.
understand that.
Is
Yeah.
right. But I ain't
And
gonna lie to you, man. He been promoting that drink too. Every time we around the kids or somebody, gotta check
I
out
be
this
racking
juice.
up
Or
niggas to New York.
he be racking up from the barbershop and bringing them to New York to work.
oh,
So he been
you ain't
definitely
even
been
gotta do
supporting.
that. I got you, Pi. I got you. I we gonna make this work. And we need some in the boutique? Do we need some? Do I could talk to the
Man,
homie?
first of all, if you put it in the boutique, the only one gonna be drinking it is us, probably. It's gonna go because he loves them things.
I get it. I get it. How I have to do it. You know what I mean? Because I told the homie I'm gonna help him hustle it. Right. I gotta
Uh-huh.
buy. I gotta buy two extra for every one I'm gonna drink. Right. Because I know
Uh-huh.
I gotta get them gone. Because I know
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
drink them fast. So that's how we help the little homie. But I love it. To be able to see great people, right, doing great things, to be able to support, and that's why I say I love y'all. Love, I love how P is there for you. I love, how you stepped into your greatness. I love how you stepped into being a model, and then I love that you're telling the backstory. What happens to a lot of us
Mhm,
is people get stuck in their perfection, right?
mhm,
And being stuck in that perfection or that need to look perfect, we lose
mhm,
the authenticity that allows the people to truly support us. So I
mhm,
love that you're telling your backstory so people know why you're here, right?
mhm,
And the need that you felt. right? Because I don't want to miss that. You know, there was a need in Allentown, right? You said there was nothing in your space for the type of
Right.
clothing that you wear, sell, and people look for, right?
Uh-huh.
So you
Mm-hmm.
so you feel the need. You know, that will make you rich, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, if it hasn't made you wealthy yet, it will definitely make you rich because you know you found a way to be a part of the solution. You know,
Mm-hmm.
many of us always want to be part of the problem. So thank you for finding a way to be part of the solution and then fighting through your insecurities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you mentioned them because it could have been easy. You could have said, "Yeah, I got this idea. I told my husband. Yeah, we was off to the races." No, you had some
Mm-hmm.
insecurities, right?
Yes,
You had some
definitely.
things you had to face, right? And by facing them, do you think that made you even more powerful now that you're as you open up the doors to your boutique every day?
Yes, I definitely feel um I feel like I got through some stages where okay, I can do it. I'm not scared to step out the box. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I'm not scared. If something is in need for my business or whatever it is that I have to get done or I might have to research or find out, I put myself out there. Um, it's not a easy thing to do. You know, you have it's sad, but it must be said. You know, you have people who don't mind helping, you know, with certain information and you don't have, and then you have people who want to keep everything a secret. So when you get to networking and you get to putting yourself out there and just putting the work in for yourself and meeting great people, man, you it makes you feel different. You feel like you can accomplish so much because you're putting yourself in the space of people who was there before. You know what I'm saying? Who did the work, who is not scared to step out their comfort zone. Um, and it puts some kind of fuel to you as an individual, you know, because I meet some powerful ladies and I'm like, wow. And they let me know from the jump, like, no, you could do it. Don't do it scared. Do it proud. Do it whichever way you need to do it. Don't be scared to ask questions. And before I used to, I'm like, I don't want to ask because, you know, for so long, people want to keep things to themselves. They ain't want to be helpful. But for me, I look at it different. Like in my mental note already, I'm saying to myself, everything that I jot down, hopefully I can put out a book that will eventually help somebody where I was in the beginning with starting my business. Um, I don't mind helping others. So that's big for me too.
I love it. I love it. That's why we started this show to be able to show different, you know, different journeys. You know,
Right,
everyone's different. Every
right,
experience is different. You know, I've
right.
been blessed to have a vast Rolodex of people who are in
Mm-hmm,
different spaces in their business. Some are
mm-hmm,
startups like yourself, some are well
mm-hmm,
established, but everyone has a story that can
mm-hmm,
inspire someone else to
mm-hmm,
to do it, right? To
mm-hmm.
do it. There's so many reasons why we should do it, you know, but there are ways that we can trick ourselves with fear, right? And most
Right,
times fear is just false evidence appearing real. You know, just most of the things that we're scared of, once we face it, we realize, you know, it wasn't a lion, it was only a kitten,
right,
right? You know, it wasn't a rat, it was only a baby mouse, you
right.
know. So I'm glad that you're telling these women, you're telling our listeners, you know, it's not just the women, it's for everyone, but it's Women's History Month. So we want our ladies to be inspired to get started and never give up, right? To
Don't
get
get
started,
broke.
right? You're never too old to get started. You know, you're
Mhm.
never, you're never too damaged to get
Mhm.
started, right?
Mhm.
You're right. You're never, you're nothing is the reason why not to get started, right? Because you told us
Right.
about some harm that you went through. You told us about
Mhm.
some things that you had to push through, and then you told us about, just becoming, right, April
Mhm.
Isaac Brown, right? And how
Right.
did that feel? So there are people that needed to hear that. They needed to
Mhm.
know that whatever I've been through, that didn't break me. It made me. It made me
Right.
stronger, right? It made me better. It
Right.
made me here. So I'm glad that you were able to really start to share with us. And I told you, the hour starts going quickly. We got 15 minutes left. That's how quickly it goes. You know, so I want to make sure before we tell them actually because we mentioned Ambitious Boutique, but we didn't
Mhm.
mention where it is. You know,
Mhm.
uh, so people know how to find it not only online because you can order. Can you order online and people ship out and offline?
So yeah, so the website, the layout is done. It's the process we're getting the product on. So that's what we're working on now. But the store location, so you all know, is in Allentown, 17 North 6th Street. Um, you can find my IG page, ambitious underscore boutique underscore, and on Facebook. If you see something you like, until the site is up, you can hit me up. Like I said, if I'm in the area, you like it, I deliver it. I'll get it to you, or I could ship it out. So if you're not close and you see something you like, same thing, I could ship it out. So don't hesitate. Just hit me up.
And I love it. See, the great thing about new businesses, right? They're still, like she says, super ambitious. Like she's talking about, she'll still drop it off. Don't ask me to drop nothing off. Like today,
Look,
y'all
even
was
my
lucky.
husband,
I
when
felt
but even when people hit me up from New York, I'm like, oh sure, look, my husband, you can meet him here. He can meet you there or whatever. I'm getting it to you.
I love it. I love it. I'll ship it. Today that's why they were bugging that I was outside actually selling the lemonade, because
Uh-huh.
I don't do delivery.
Uh-huh.
I do DiGiorno, right? We don't do delivery, we do DiGiorno. Like
That's
so I
hilarious.
love it. I love that you're outside making sure, that's great customer service.
Right.
Whenever you're starting a business, we have to extend ourselves, for great customer
Mm-hmm.
service, you know,
Yeah.
include for the customer to have a great customer experience. So I'm loving, all of the jewels our sisters dropping, some nonchalantly, some in your face, but she's telling you about a customer experience that
Yeah,
Ambitious Boutique,
ladies.
you know,
Don't be
is
scared.
building, right?
Don't be
So
scared. It's tough. It's tough out
yeah,
here, but don't be scared. Just do it. Do it without feeling any type of way. Um there's things and there's even people who would try to deter you from your your passion or tell you, "Oh, you shouldn't do it or you should do it." Don't pay them no mind. Just get out there and do it. Just do it.
that's what I'm talking about, and I love it because what's so powerful in today's story is, more than anything else, I want our ladies to continue, and everyone watching, right, to
Right.
continue to reach, right. It's
Mhm.
so hard to sit still when the world is continually changing, right. The one
Mhm.
thing that's inevitable is
Mhm.
change, right.
Mhm.
So either we can go with change or be bullied by change. So I
Mhm.
love that, you've not only showed how you evolved with time,
Mhm.
right? Because you've had some experiences. We didn't touch them all, but we touched a few of them. You've
Mhm.
had some experiences that could have broken, most women, having
Yeah.
children at a young age, losing
Mhm.
a son, you
Mhm.
know, not knowing, if this business was for you. There's so many things that could have
Mhm.
allowed you to break, but only thing I see now is big smiles, right? And a future that is brighter than ever. So, it is wonderful that we've gotten to, tell the world about Ambitious Boutique. And I love that you talked about a customer experience, right?
Mhm.
And I wanna touch on that too, because when building any business, you have to
Mhm.
decide what your customer experience is gonna look like and feel like. You know,
Mhm.
Ambitious Boutique decided that at least in this first year, we're going to deliver as many times as we can. She says her
Mhm.
husband's doing deliveries, not just in Allentown, but in New York.
Mhm.
In Allentown, they're pulling up. So in two different states, probably three different states, because
Mhm.
Jersey's on the way,
Right.
like, you
Mhm.
know, they're probably all through the tri-state area doing deliveries,
Mhm.
providing a customer experience that is unique, you know. So I love that you mentioned that, because that's not something that I would have known, first of all, that you do that. And second
Mhm.
of all, to be able to provide that insight on customer experience. So, you
Mhm.
keep going, right? Ambitious Boutique is amazing. Please give them the name of the book again, because I don't want to butcher it, because we want them to be able to get it at Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, and anywhere you can find your favorite book. If
Right.
they don't have it, complain about it so that they can get
So
it. So tell them the
right.
title of the book
I think
correctly.
I have one right here. I have one. So
Oh,
it's
you
an
have one to
unexplained.
show it to 'em.
It's right in my
Uh-oh.
bag. Look, it's serious. Right
Look,
in my bag. It's my bag, my work bag. It's right here.
I love it.
An unexplained loss of a child by April Isaac Brown. You can find it in Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, in Ambitious Boutique, in the trunks of my family's car. So wherever you at, like I said, somebody might be close. We could get you the book.
I love it. See, that's ambitious, right? That's an ambitious hustle to always have the book up, ready, and available to be
Yeah,
able to deliver on, and then you
it's
didn't
my
have to
work
be
bag.
perfect. I love it. And she was she was so dedicated. Most of y'all didn't realize that she was on the road during most of this show. So she was
Right,
dedicated to making sure
right,
that you got this message, right? That you
right,
were able to not only be inspired, but to know to never give up.
right.
So I am grateful that we were able to share some time with April, that we were able to talk about her amazing book, that we were able to tell you about her boutique, right? It's not a
Mm-hmm.
boutique, right? We got to get it right.
Beauty.
Boutique, Beau, right? So
Yes,
look for her Ambitious Boutique, which is so amazing. It's high end, high class, but still affordable. She has something for everyone, so
everyone.
make sure you
Mm-hmm.
walk in. If you're in the Allentown area, go on her web, excuse me, on her social media. She didn't
Mm-hmm.
come to me for her website. That's why it's not done. So I'm not even going. We just got
I didn't
tease.
know, but nope, nope. I didn't even know you did it. And you know what? We'll talk about that off of this, but I gotta tell you what I went through with this one. But we, it's a
Yeah,
story.
you we that it. So it's funny. Like, we started Big Happy Consultants,
Hmm.
because of what we went through, right? All of the things that we went through, we
Hmm.
decided we didn't want anyone else to go through. So,
Okay.
web design, merchandising, and then our main thing is money. We always have access to lenders that'll
If
lend
I would have
anywhere
known,
from.
if I would have known that, I would have been on that already with you.
See, they said I gotta promote better. All right,
See,
ladies and gentlemen,
and
I
you
am
done
not
sat
perfect,
at
right?
the
That's why
boutique
you
and
don't have to be
everything.
perfect. I need to promote that side of the business more. You know,
Yes.
yes,
Yes. But now I
yes,
know, so I'll share that. So you just gotta tell me, like, what you willing to do, and what you do and stuff like that. So because I
yeah.
know a few people who need that type of help. So
Yeah, I'm blessed to have a great web design team. We do
hmm
everything from basic funnels to creating digital worlds.
Okay.
So like we could have created a whole, a whole digital world for Ambitious Boutique. So you have guys that don't come out the house. I love my group of hermits. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they only talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have that. I when you talk about networking, right? I
Right.
don't know how I bumped into my group, because they don't come out the house, and they love me because I actually network, so it works for
Yeah.
both of us. They
Yeah.
can just design all day, and then I make sure that we're driving, good business to them. They do great customer service, because they don't do anything but design, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a blessing, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
a blessing to be surrounded by great people. So
Right.
told you this hour would go so much faster. We have 6 good minutes. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we don't miss anything that you may want to cover, or anything that you think the people should remember when thinking about April Isaac Brown, we're thinking about Ambitious Boutique,
Mm-hmm.
anything that you would want them when they say this was the April episode, what would you like them to take away?
Um, Once again, and I'll keep saying it. Um, put your foot on the ground and run. Don't be scared. One no is okay. Two no's is okay. Rejection is okay. You just got to keep putting your work out there. Um, Sometimes things don't happen the way we want them or see the vision for it to happen at first. So you get a little like, how can I say, what's the word? You get a little intimidated. Um, then you might want to fall back and say this ain't it for me. I can't do it. I don't want to be out there. But it's okay. Take a few no's. It's all right to take a few no's and come back 1,000 times stronger. Um, I got so many no's. I got so many. I mean, myself going through the process with the boutique and even up till today, the grind is hard. And sometimes, the time, and I still work a whole full-time job as well. Um, and I lose plenty of sleep, but you have to put the time into your passion. You have to keep moving. You can't allow for people to deter you. I could give you so many things. A lot of the things too is research on your own. Don't look for people to give you all the answers. Um, and stay strong. Stay strong. It's okay to cry some nights. Um, it's okay to feel stuck, but just don't give up. The whole point of me saying this is don't give up. There were so many nights that I just said I can't do it. I'm tired. I just kept saying I'm tired. But now I feel like I'm blessed. I met so many great people, and I feel like nothing's stopping me now. Like I'm just gonna keep doing what I need to do. Whether I'm tired or not, I'm gonna do it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So make sure you stop by Ambitious Boutique.
Mhm.
Make sure you get a copy of the book. Make
Mhm.
sure that you are stopping onto her social media sites,
Mhm.
ambitious underscore boutique, so that you
Mhm.
can see, if you're not in the area, you can see all of the amazing clothing that she has to offer,
Mhm.
and so that you can make sure that you can get something amazing for you or your spouse, for the women, for you, for the men, for your
Mhm.
spouse, so make sure you stop in. So, April, before we end this episode, I will allow you, would excuse me, want you to do what we've done on every episode. We've asked everyone, all of our guests, to, repeat my personal manifesto with me. I'm going to say it for you first, and then, say it all the way through, and then I'll ask you to repeat after me. So, my personal manifesto goes like this: I love me.
Mhm.
I'm worthy. Some people may not like me, but I don't care because the people that matter will be glad that I'm here. All right. So I love me.
I love me.
I'm
I am
worthy.
wor- I am worthy.
Some people may not like me,
Some people may not like me,
but I don't care
but I don't care
because the people that matter
because the people that matter
will be glad that I'm here.
will be glad that I'm here.
And yes, we are. We were glad, April Isaac Brown, that you spent an hour with us. We were glad that you shared your story with our team. We are glad that you were being so vulnerable with us. We are glad to learn about Ambitious Boutique. We are glad to learn about your amazing book. And we are glad that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to get started. So we want to thank you, April, for spending this hour with us. I told you the hour would go by quickly. We want to
It
thank
did.
you for all of the jewels that you shared with our guests,
Mhm.
with all of the insight that we were able to give them. So you gave them everything from personal development to customer experience. So if you didn't catch it all, make sure you go back and watch the replay because April dropped some jewels for you. So you don't have to be perfect. You just have to get
You just
started.
have to get started.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on, Paz. This was really nice. I appreciate you.